So the tables have turned.
How so?
The host has become the guest. I'm Aaron with a special edition of the 2-Minute Review. So Mark, you actually own a 60D. Why did you choose to buy the 60D rather than the 5D or the 7D?
Well, in my price point, I was more choosing between the 7D, the 60D, and at the time the T2i. The first thing I liked about it was the size. It felt bigger than the T3i, it felt stronger in my hands with the T2i. For video, it offered you kind of the full range of frame rate. The 7D, which I also thought very seriously about, didn't have this articulating screen, which for video is just amazing because you can shoot from here or from here. It's basically a much more comfortable camera to shoot video with. I was getting the same sensor. I was losing a little bit on the stills side because there's just the functionality isn't quite the same. The ISO I can't go quite as high, it's not quite as fast. But for video, I had a great full HD capture with the articulating screen. Also, the 7D doesn't have sound controls, and the 60D did. That was really important to be able to plug in an external sound source.
What modes do you use?
I rarely use program mode actually, but I use shutter speed priority and aperture priority, and I shoot mostly in manual. But then lately I started using the C mode. It's like a customizable mode. And when I put it in C mode, basically I set a picture style to monochromatic or black and white. And I put the settings in the picture style like as sharp and as high contrast as I like. And then I set my image quality to a raw plus JPEG so that I get a raw image with all the color if I want to go back to color. But the JPEG that's already burned, I don't have to process, looks like a high contrast, sharp black and white, which is what I like. Sometimes I will pop it into the little green, like fully automatic mode if I'm just in a huge hurry and I don't want to think about anything. I don't know what the settings of the camera were on before. I just want to make sure I get the shot in an instant and then deal with everything else later. I'll shoot in the green. You have autofocus, you have AI servo, which like basically tracks a moving subject. You can pump the ISO pretty high. I pump it up now to like about 1200, 1200. I don't see any real breakage. Once you get above there, you start to see a little bit, but still like pretty acceptable. It has this, it's like a level. So you can make sure you can keep your camera level. There's all these little features, tiny features that aren't actually available like even in the 5D. It's not a magnesium camera, but it's just very heavy duty plastic. It feels great in your hand, and I've taken it already all around the world and it feels pretty good.